Hello and welcome to the Mobility Outlook studio at Auto Expo Component Show 2023. And I have the absolute pleasure to have with me today Mr. Martin Wellhöffer. He's a member of the Management Committee, Corporate Executive Vice President, Sales and Application Engineering at MAHLE International. And I also have with me Mr. Milind Godbole. He's the President of MAHLE Holdings in India. Gentlemen, welcome. I'll start with you. Your first impressions of the Delhi show and considering the transition that we see in the industry.
Well, first of all, it's great to be back in India. Took some time after COVID now, and it's great to have this fair. And it's really so busy, so crowded, which is so great that I think everybody was eager to come back to look at the newest technology and looking at our current transformation. This is really the spot to be, and it's so great to see that also in India, e-mobility is picking up, technology is picking up, and that's exactly the spirit we're experiencing here today, and it's great.
Right. So again, just getting a little deeper into this transition that we see from ICs to EVs, and of course to future technology. How are you looking at the opportunity in the Indian market for MAHLE?
Well, of course, ICE will remain a major technology, and we will further invest. In Bharat 6.2 is now coming, and further Bharat 7 is coming.
Right.
So this will remain. However, with EV coming, this is really a great opportunity for us on two sides. One is for the passenger cars, where we, with our big, strong foothold in thermal, we see great opportunities because thermal management will be key technology for EVs in future. Battery cooling, heating of the interior, and it will all go together because you need the best thermal management for the longest battery range.
Right.
But secondly, also on the two-wheeler and three-wheeler side, we have established as I think the first Western company in 2020 already a plant in India where we are into traction motors and motor controllers for two-wheel and three-wheelers electromobility. And everybody knows India is a place to be for two-wheelers, so we are really, really appreciating this development and going forward with this.
Right. So considering what India is doing for MAHLE, what are some of the learning or let's say that you can possibly take to other markets globally?
Well, first of all, we are very happy that with all our big four business units, we are well established in India. And we are in India 1958, started already, so we are really long-term, have a long-term relation with India. And what we learn is to be quick, to be, of course, price competitive, and what we also foster is a great talent pool we have here. Right? And this is really something we even can expand more, and even not only for India market, but a large extent of our R&D capabilities we are having here is for even other regions.
Sure.
So this is something we really can take out of India. And software, no doubt at all, which is becoming more and more important now in vehicle, and also in the automotive industry. This is something where India can really contribute.
Okay. Do you look at India as a potential hub for a certain area of expertise that you bring in to the industry?
Would you like to answer?
Sure. So I think one of the things that Martin already mentioned is the 2-3-wheeler side.
Right.
So we are today the center of excellence to that extent for the 2-3-wheeler electrification and all the electromobility development there, right? Also, I would say from the thermal management side, solution development and the speed at which some of the local OEMs are moving forward, India has a step in the door today to be faster than probably anywhere else in the world to really get into the solution development side of e-mobility on the thermal management.
All right.
Right. So these are the two key areas that we really focus on. And to add to what Martin already said, for success here, it's also the localization as well as local R&D that we are bringing here, so that we can match the speed as well as take in a lot of the technology that we have in the other parts of the world quickly.
Okay. When you look at the future of mobility, all the various, we talk about the different mega trends that that's driving the industry. Where do you think India could contribute the max for MAHLE in terms of growth coming in?
So it's across the board.
Okay.
For example, if you just see this year, we've had a record growth. So moving from 270 to 280 million euros, we are now nearly 400 million euros. That's what we clocked last year. So we see a huge growth even in the traditional businesses. And as Martin said, we are here from several years, from 1958 when we set up our footprint here. and we have a footprint in every business unit, and we see a lot of growth, especially on the thermal side and also on the electromobility side. So these are the two key areas where we see good amount of growth.
And what I like to add, we repeat now, but for two-wheeler, three-wheeler, this is really unique in India. It's the biggest market.
Sure.
So this is really the core for us to be two-wheeler, three-wheeler, electromobility. The origin will be India, and we will extend from India to the other hubs.
India to the world.
India to the world.
Okay.
That's really for two, three-wheeler unique.
Okay. While you look at doing that, while you're looking at expanding, what are the kind of capabilities that the Indian operations will have to develop in terms of capacities, people, R&D, engineering? How do you look at that?
Yeah, so clearly, as I said, it's not one answer to everything.
Okay.
But it starts with having a footprint, right? So we were the first to set up a footprint in terms of manufacturing for 2, 3-wheelers. For example, we saw this early and we set this footprint up first. Then the second part is the R&D and the development, which we need to do, which obviously we are expanding at a rapid rate now, not only for India but also for the globe. As Martin said, we have more than 100 people now working on the India piece on the R&D side, but we have 4 times that, about 400 people working for the global R&D. So it also helps us in terms of some technology transfer and transitions between these two units. And then in terms of investment, of course, we back up the units very well with the investments and what's required for them to manage the growth that really comes forward.
Yeah, and maybe one thing to add, what could be another accelerator is ease of doing business in India. It improved, if you look at the rankings, it's really improved, but it's still a room left, I would say, to get Western companies more engaged, spend more capex, because still it's quite complicated, to be honest.
All right, so quite complicated. Any fresh investments that you're looking to make in India?
Well, what we're still focusing on is increasing our headcount on R&D side, increasing our headcount on shared service center side. This would be the next big steps. And then a midterm, with thermal management coming more and more important for e-mobility, there will be some investments be necessary in these terms of new technology areas.
Okay, all right. So my final question, since we're talking sustainability, we're talking carbon neutrality. From a MAHLE perspective, if you could give us a sense of the kind of initiatives you're taking.
It's a great question.
Yeah, so I would take the India one, and maybe Martin can add from a global standpoint. So this is really important for us, driven both in our 100% units as well as our joint ventures, which we have here. We have run a lot of projects in terms of renewable energy and completed some of them, especially on the solar side. Not only in the facility but also procuring solar energy, electricity, so that we can have a carbon neutrality. In addition to that, energy management projects is something that we keep a very close tab with all the units that we work.
Okay.
And globally, of course, we are following the Paris Agreement. Until 2040, CO2 neutrality is our goal. Until 2030, we are going to minus 65%, so not 50, we set a little bit stretch on it.
Okay.
So that is our goal. And India is, in particular, as Milind said, already a front runner in solar energy. And we build our plants with solar energy to get really, CO2 efficiency and neutrality even accomplished.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, appreciate you talking to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.